Yeah. You said there's a party? Well, not. Yeah, I won't be there too soon because I got church. After church, I can be there. Yeah, I'll bring Jimmy. Yeah, he just started coming to church there. Yeah, he just got out of a teen challenge. Yeah, a few drinks. I mean, if we drink, I mean, as long as we don't overdo it in front of him, he'll be all right. Yeah, cool. I'll see you then. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. You're on the Crusaders for Christ channel. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day and joining me. I always appreciate it. Hey, if you enjoyed the video today and you get something out of it, I would greatly appreciate if you hit the little thumbs up button, and maybe I can earn your subscription today, because everything helps me, helps the channel grow, and again, I really appreciate it, and it blesses me. But today we're talking about, are you a stumbling block or are you a stepping stone? Let's look at what they are. What is a stepping stone? A stepping stone, a single stone or a series of raised stones used to step on when crossing a stream or muddy area. Or an action or event that helps one to make progress towards a specific goal. That is a stepping stone. What is a stumbling block? An obstacle to progress, an impediment to belief or understanding, or a circumstance that causes difficulty or hesitation, behavior or attitude that leads another to sin or to destructive behavior. So many times in our lives, we don't even realize that people are watching us. We don't even realize what we're doing can cause somebody else to think differently about us or about Christ, or just about different things. I mean, politics and sports, and I mean, you can see it with the way we act and react to certain things. In Romans 14, I'm going to read two separate verses here, verses 13, and then I'm going to skip to verse 21. In Romans 14, verse 13, therefore let us stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or an obstacle in your brother's way. Then skipping down to verse 21, it is better not to eat meat or drink wine or to do anything else that will cause your brother to fail. What Paul was talking about there is he was talking to the church there, and they were having disputes about what they should eat, what they shouldn't drink, because this offends me, this bothers me, this causes my brother to fail. And basically what he's talking about is, hey, if it causes your brother to fail, don't do it in front of him. If you know that you believe in your heart that it's right and it's okay with Christ and the Word, then do it, but don't do it in front of him, because he may have different feelings about, well, eating that or not eating that. If he only eats vegetables, then when you're with him, just eat vegetables. And don't judge him, don't look down on him because of that. Same thing with what he drinks. You know, does he drink water? Does he drink wine? If he keep the Sabbath holy, or if he keeps a different day holy. It's between him and Christ. And that's what he has to deal with. His relationship with Christ, he has to deal with that. So don't let it be a stumbling block. Don't hold it against him if he does something that you don't do. As long as, you know, it lines up with Christ and the Word of God, then just make sure. But the key word was in that verse was anything else. Yes, it talked about eating and drinking, but it said, or to do anything else that will cause your brother to fail. That should be our, as a Christian, we should always be looking out for that, because, again, somebody is always watching you, and we have to be careful, especially with this day and age. We have to be so very careful with what we say and do. Can it offend people? I mean, there's a fine line there between offending people these days and to speaking the truth and standing up for what's right and standing up for what you truly believe in, if it's biblically and if it's true, especially for defending the faith. In Matthew 18, 5 through 7, this is Jesus talking. And whoever welcomes a little child like this in my name welcomes me. But if anyone causes one of those little ones who believe me to sin, it would be better for him to have a large millstone hung around his neck, and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to sin. Such things must come, but woe to the man through whom they come. Pretty harsh words from Jesus. Millstone is the big stone that they would use to grind the wheat down to a powder so they could bake and everything. Some millstones could weigh up to 3,300 pounds, doing my research. So imagine that tied around your neck and being thrown into the ocean. And it says anyone who causes these to fall or sin or fall away. That's teachers, that's pastors, that's parents. What are you teaching your kids? I mean, you look at society now. I mean, how are these kids being raised? I mean, man, that's a whole video. That's I don't want to go into, but I mean, racism, hatred, lack for authority, lack of responsibility, lack of accepting punishment for what you've done wrong. Accountability is the word I'm looking for. But that comes from their training, comes from their teaching, the parents. And what are we teaching them? And how are we acting around our friends and family members? What are we teaching them by our actions and how we react? Yes, there are going to be times how we get upset, we disagree with somebody, but how are we disagreeing with those people? Are we doing it out of hate, out of spite, or are we doing it out of love, out of kindness, respect? I can look back on my friends. A lot of times we would have disagreements about this and that, but after we had our disagreement, hey, let's go get something to eat, man. Because we could have that respect, and when it crossed that line of respect, that's when friendships would get hurt and friendships would get lost because of pride and how you treated them. So are we being a stumbling block? Or are we being a stepping stone? I can remember, it's story time, when I was a little kid and I was kind of on my way out of my leukemia and everything. And I remember in the church bulletin, it said, need help for puppet team and working in children's ministry. And so I wanted to do it. And my dad said, I want you to think about it for a week and then come to me with your answer, and then we'll talk about it. And of course, my mind was already made up. I knew I was going to do it or wanted to. But I do remember the little speech my dad did give me. I don't even know if he remembers this or not. But he said, if you do this from this day forward for the rest of your life, people are going to be watching you. You're taking a different step, a step into leadership. Even though you don't think so, people are always going to be watching you because you're going to be, maybe you're going to be doing puppets and kids are going to look up to you because, oh, wow, he's doing puppets. Or maybe you're doing little skits and stuff on stage and kids are going to look up to you. And not only the kids, but the parents, people in the church are going to see you running down the halls. Are you acting like an idiot, or are you misbehaving? And people are going to go, wait, isn't he supposed to be teaching in children's church? People are always going to be watching you. And that always stuck with me. I mean, doesn't mean I was perfect. Didn't mean I didn't mess up, which I messed up a lot. But there are different times in my life where people come up to me and say, hey, man, I saw how you acted in that situation. I saw how you handled that reaction there. Sometimes they were good reactions and sometimes they were bad. Sometimes the people kind of shame me because of what I said or did, and other times they praise me. But it always would hit me like a ton of bricks when they would approach me and say that, whether it was good or bad. It would always go back to that day when I was a little kid, probably 8 or 9 years old, and my dad telling me that people are always watching you, and you may not even think they're watching you. Might be watching you from a distance and watching how you text or how you email and how you react to this, and you may not even notice it. I've had people that have said that, and I had no clue, and I'm like, oh man, whether I let them down or build them up, someone is always watching you, no matter what. So you need to think about every action that you do. You may think it's not a big deal. Please don't take this wrong. I'm not condemning people that drink beer here and there, but what if you have that new person that just started going to church, and they know you, and you post that picture on Facebook of you. Maybe you're outside grilling, having a good time, and you're just having that beer or something. And maybe they're a recovering alcoholic, and they see that picture on Facebook, and they think, oh, if they can do it, it's okay for me to do it. And maybe that slips them into, well, if I just have one drink, maybe they slip back into drinking again. Or maybe somebody hears you cussing all the time, but you go to church and maybe you're Mr. Sane on Sunday, but then somebody hears you cussing all the time. Maybe a coworker, and they think, man, he says he's a Christian, but he cusses all the time, or he does this or that. I don't want any part of that. And you just became a stumbling block, and maybe they turned away. Maybe they're on the borderline of maybe deciding to come to church, or changing their life, giving their life over to Christ, and yet because of your small reaction that you didn't even notice, maybe you didn't even think it's a big deal, that hurt them, that caused them to go the opposite direction. So we need to think about that. In Romans 15, verse 1, we who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak, and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please his neighbor for his good and build him up. So some of us that are Christians, that have been Christians a while, great, that's awesome. We should be helping the people that maybe aren't as strong as us. Maybe they don't understand the scriptures, the Bible. Maybe they don't understand, hey, you know what? Okay, now you're a new Christian. You should be moving up. You should be changing this. You should be giving up this or that. And maybe we need to build them up. Maybe we need to help carry that load. Maybe they're struggling with an addiction, or they're struggling in a relationship, and they don't know how to act. And maybe it's up to you to step up, be that stepping stone. Put your arm around them, say, hey, brother, hey, sister, I'm praying for you. Hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee. Let's talk about it. Hey, what can I help you do? What? Let's just go hang out at the park for a while. Let's go grab a bite to eat. Whatever it is, I can help you out. So let's be a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. In Hebrews 10, 24 and 25, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Let us not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So again, it talks about encouraging. So instead of tearing everybody down, and especially now with all the hate and everything going on in the world, instead of throwing that hate back and that disagreement, let's encourage one another. Let's try a different approach. As a Christian, there should be a difference. If there's no difference, then what difference is there in being a Christian? We should be showing more of a loving heart. Again, that doesn't mean let people walk all over you and you just turn the other way. We do need to stand up for what is right and what is just, but let's do it in a loving and encouraging way. And always, always, always look over your shoulder, because someone is always watching you. And you know what? If you don't think no one's watching you, Jesus is. He's watching down, and he's half the time, he's right with you, man. He's in your heart. He lives with you. So whatever you see with your eyes, whatever you speak out of your mouth, whatever you hear, he does too. So don't forget that. So let's be a stepping stone and not a stumbling block. And I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day and watching this video. And again, please help me out and hit that like, hit that little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And again, hey, if you guys, if there's something you want me to talk about, whether it's a scripture verse or a Bible story, or a topic that you maybe have questions about, or maybe someone's asked you about, put them down in the comments, and I'll look into it, and I'll see what research and what I can do to help you out and bring those to light. And again, I thank you guys again for taking your time and helping me out. So peace out, guys. Love you. Crusaders for Christ. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.